Say hey, Yellow Jacket football fans. Welcome to In the Press Box with Calhoun head football coach, Coach Clay Stevenson. This is being brought to you by the Calhoun Touchdown Club, as they also brought you our picks in locker room predictions, brought to you by the Calhoun Touchdown Club. Coach Clay, got a big game coming up, and we're going to talk about last week's game, and we'll move into the Cartersville game also. How's practice gone this week?
Yeah, it's been good. Good to be here again on a Thursday morning of a home game week. Everybody's excited and ready to go. Practice has been pretty good. You know, it's one of those things. It's the third game of the year, so you're really trying to get into your game week routine. We were able to keep the same schedule this week. You know, last week kept the same schedule until Friday when school had to let out because of the HVAC situation. So we had to scramble around Friday afternoon to figure out something to do with 90 kids for a while until we kept the older guys and sent the young ones home because it was about a 4-hour gap that we had to fill to just once 3:30 hits, you know, everything could be on schedule with our pregame meal. But we had about 4 hours, I think, and did a good job of kind of splitting it up. And then once 3:30 hit, we were right back on schedule.
Maybe a little extra film watching, a little extra talking with the position coaches.
Did a little bit. We went over to the South Calhoun Baptist Church. They opened doors for us to go over there and eat lunch just to change it up a little bit. Went over there and ate lunch, came back, did a few position meetings, then went to the auditorium, watched a movie, got a good nap in, most of them, and then that ended right about 3:20, and then we were on schedule. So it worked out well.
Yeah, when you get a day like that, it's amazing how much or how often. You know what? I could use a little bit of a nap, and nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no, the kids took advantage. I think a couple of different times for naps those days.
Yes, I would have taken advantage of a nap. If I'd have been an assistant coach on your staff, I'd say, yeah, a nap sounds good. Let's do that. Last week's victory was a very good victory, so congratulations to you and the team. 28-20 over Westminster. They made it a little bit exciting in the fourth quarter, but nonetheless, it's a 28-20 victory. I like how the team came out and asserted themselves at the beginning of the game.
Yes, they played hard. You know, they practiced hard all week and for the 2 weeks leading up to the game, and came out and executed at a high level and played extremely hard and fast. And that's how you, especially early in the year, execution is not going to be the greatest or the sharpest. But if you can fly around and get lined up and then fly around, that's the recipe for success. And I was very proud of the players and coaches for the 2 weeks of work they put in. And the kids went out there Friday night and played extremely hard.
21-7 lead at the 5:02 mark of the third quarter for the Yellow Jackets. Then it got a little bit interesting because Westminster, I think, finally realized they weren't going to be able to run the ball as effectively as they have in the past against a lot of teams, which they like to do. We ended up scoring our last touchdown with 11:05 left in the ball game to give us a 28-7 lead, and then the defense withstood a strong passing attack by Westminster.
Yeah, the defense played extremely well. You know, that last drive right before half, I think they scored they got the ball back with a minute. You know, they had really just one other long drive. The other ones we kind of gave them a short field with field position, but defense played hard and didn't give up the big play. Made them earn everything they got, and they were able to hold on there at the end.
Your rotating quarterbacks continue to rotate, and both of them were playing well for you. I thought the Hogs did the Athos Animals. I thought they did a good job of blocking front five, front six.
Yeah, they did. That was a worry for us going in. Westminster did a lot of stuff with their front and their linebackers, so we worked extremely hard and had some rough practices last week because of that. You know, we wanted to make sure we showed them every look in practice, and I think we, Coach Atha and Coach Prather, our tight end W's coach, they did a great job of getting those guys prepared to pick up those things and didn't have any sacks and were able to move the football. So very pleased with the offensive line, like I said, of handling all the pressure they gave us. And, they missed a couple of times, but for the most part played extremely well.
I know a lot of fans are going to look at the quarterback and the running back and hoping they make the right read, but the first read that has to be made is up on the offensive line front. And I thought Athos Animals did a good job of picking up blitzes because this team is renowned for blitzing blitzing a lot, particularly on second and third downs.
Yeah, they brought a lot of pressure, and up front, the communication was the big thing all week. And I think the more that you got five guys that can play together, rolling in a few here and there, but if you can get those guys playing together, the communication kind of gets a little bit better as we go, and the execution is there as well.
Yeah, the key with any offensive line is the familiarity between the center, the guard, and tackle on both sides of the ball, and battling some bumps and bruises here, and people maybe not being 100%, maybe they're playing at 85%, and you're substituting. It's hard to build that.
It is, with the offensive line, the front, I call it 6 or 7 because we have a lot of tight ends in there as well. They can be wrong. They just got to be all wrong together. As long as they're on the same page, they're called, but not necessarily be 100% correct to have a I like to call them non-negative plays. But when you have 5 doing one thing and 1 doing something else, that's when you have issues. So very pleased with their progress and how they played last week.
Exactly. Offensive player of the week was Justin Beasley.
Yeah, had a great game. He's electric with the football, and it was just a routine little hunt right. He ran the other night and caught it, and then he does what he can do, and made a couple of guys miss and flipped the field and scored a touchdown.
Yeah, he ran from one sideline to the other sideline and beat everybody to the goal line. So he is dangerous. Our defensive player of the week, Sager Quinn. Coach, I'm going through my play sheet, and I had multiple pass breakups. I think I had 4 or 5 pass breakups. I had 3 slobber knockers. I had 2 tackles for a loss. I mean, the defense was just everywhere.
They were, and Sager, that's his second game of the year that he's played extremely hard and played at a high level. He's very difficult to block. Just ask our scout teamers. One of our practice players of the week was Gannon Smith, and he's a scout team center sometimes. And whenever we move Sager to nose, he knows it's going to be a tough few plays. But Sager's playing really really good football right now.
Special teams player was Aiden
Adcock, did a good job. He's the bear, which on the punt team did a good job there of protecting for Carlos to get those punts off.
Our hog of the week, Grant Prime.
Yep, that's the second week in a row. He's a standard right now and playing really good offensive line play. So hopefully the other 4 can catch up to him. But pleased with his performance.
Hard speed player of the week was
Tyler Banta. Had an issue, didn't get to practice for a couple of weeks and came back and didn't miss a beat. So proud of him for getting back out there and giving us a good game.
Extra mile, Isaac Knowles.
Yep, Isaiah Knowles.
Isaiah,
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he. I asked the kids if they knew what a Swiss Army knife was, and
What was the response?
they did. They did actually. Some of them looked at me funny, but he can do a little bit of everything. He can. A month ago, he was a quarterback and a safety, and then he moved to receiver and corner, and he's on the kickoff team and on the. And now he's playing running back, so he's doing a little bit of everything, and he's just a freshman. So he's one of those that you open up the knife and you can do pretty much anything with that.
Remember the hit at Creekview?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my God! Outstanding job, and I got so tickled in the game. He ran a play to the left towards our sideline, and he just lowered the boom and delivered his own slobber knocker to the defensive player. And then on the next run, we run him to the right-hand side, and instead of trying to break it outside, he said, "You know what? I kind of like running through these guys' shoulder pads." So he just lowered his shoulder pads and went through another tackle.
Yeah, no, Isaiah's doing a great job for us.
Our practice players of the week were Garrett Hasty, Justin Beasley, Caden Langston, and you already mentioned Gannon Smith, but we'll mention him again.
Yeah, great job with those guys giving us good looks in practice. People don't realize how important scout team players are, and Justin obviously is not a scout teamer, but he was able to come over and play some scout team receiver and gave us a really good look over there. So it's very important that those guys treat practice like it's a game every day and come out and compete, and it makes us better.
They do. If you don't get good practices, you're probably not going to get good games, and they're doing a good job. All righty. This Friday night, folks, the kickoff will be at 8:07. Peachtree TV is going to be here to televise the game, so we're going to start about 37 minutes later. And keep in mind, There will be a couple, 3 timeouts during the game that will go longer than 60 seconds. I imagine there'll probably be 2-minute timeouts, that kind of thing. So it will give you plenty of time to head to the refrigerator and get a cold drink and get back in the couch, and you can listen to us and watch the game.
That's right. Hopefully, we'll be in the seats. But if you happen to be out of town, then tune in and listen to the broadcast, and you can watch it on the TV and listen to Dave and Coach Gresham and Clint. But it's an exciting week. Anytime you were playing Cartersville, a little bit extras added to the pep and the step and the hype of the game throughout the week. If you just look at the past, even 4 years ago. Played them, and it was a hard fought ball game there at home a few years ago, and then the last 3 it's been bang bang back and forth all the way up until the final whistle. So the respect between the two programs is there, and we respect what they do, and it's the game we didn't have to play this year. It's a non-region game, but we both talked about it and felt like it was best for our teams and our programs to keep the game going, and luckily the schedule worked out, and luckily we got to play this one at home. Next we'll be away, but super excited. They're a great football team, and it's gonna be a great environment as always, and just looking forward to getting that thing kicked off.
They're number 2 in 4A. We're number 7 in 3A. They have a power ranking of number 3 in 4A. We have a power ranking of number 4 in 3A. They're number 3 in 4A. Two good ball teams. Both teams have lost a lot of starters from last year, but both teams, including Calhoun, do a really good job of developing players and continuing the excellence in football.
Yeah, Cartersville's always, you go back and look at 4 years, and they're about the same team. You talk to other coaches in their region or the area that play them, and it's I feel like it's deja vu every year. They're big up front, very solid. Got the quarterback back, and got a couple of really good skill guys out on the edge offensively. They do a lot of stuff inside the box. They do a really good job with the run game, and their screen game is very good as well. You try to stop the run, and you got the screen game that they're good at. So do a really good job up front on both sides of the football. That's kind of the thing. When you're good up front, year in, year out, you're going to have a consistent team. And defensively, it's totally different than what we just played. They're both coached real well and solid, but Cartersville doesn't bring as many stunts. They just kind of play football. They move their front a lot on the defensive side, but linebackers and safeties just they can just kind of play football and run to the ball, and so it's going to be a good contest. It's one of those that there's not really any secrets either way. We've played them for 4 years, and it's been obviously a huge region game for those 4 years. And go turn on the tape, and it's pretty much the same stuff that you've been seeing. And that's when you play good teams, that's kind of the mark of a good program. They know who they are, and they do the same things every year in, year out. So fired up, extremely fired up. Got a lot of things going on at the game that we'll talk about later, but extremely pumped for the kids to get out there and get to play them at home.
This team, I remember a couple of years ago, the triple overtime victory that we got down there, and we scored in every overtime. I think the final was like 50-48 or something like that. And are they going to run the ball and try to keep it away from us, or are they going to come out and try to air it out?
No, I think they want to run the football. That's their identity up front. They got a big, solid offensive line, some really good tight end W types, and a running back that runs it hard. On the flip side of that, they've got some really good receivers as well if they want to throw it out there. So it's a well-rounded attack. I feel like from their side, just like it has been, the last several years.
Yeah, I'm interested to see because one of those games they came out throwing the ball and then they got behind and then they decided to change their quarterbacks and go to a running game, and they got the game back close. And I think that might have been that triple overtime game. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Yellow Jackets for themselves. still alternating quarterbacks, getting production out of both quarterbacks. Cross Land, the sophomore, and Trace Hawkins, the senior.
Yeah,
the freshman.
Yes, the quarterbacks are exceeding expectations daily. They're doing a good job on and off the field, learning the offense, and develop them into leaders that you want the quarterback to be. They're not perfect, but they go out there and they're playing good enough football to give us a chance to win. And when you have young and experienced, that's what you want out of those guys. So hopefully they can continue that this week and give us a chance to win.
Cross had a good game last week, 8 for 11, 187 yards. He threw for a touchdown pass. He rushed for a touchdown pass. You bring Trace Hawkins, a freshman, in, and he's 11 for 16 for the season, 113 yards passing. He's also gained 63 yards rushing on 13 carries. So it puts a little different pressure on the defense because they don't know exactly what to expect.
Yeah, both of them are doing what we ask them to do extremely well, and look forward to them continuing that.
Yeah, and we still have number 85 on the team offensively.
That's right. That's right. He's doing a good job, and what's special about him was we can move him around at a lot of different places, even in the game. Sometimes we say, "Hey, go out there and do this," but he's a special player, and like you said, it's when in doubt, let's try to find 85.
Yes, and I think you or I could get a pass it somewhere near him, and when it gets near his hands, if he gets a fingertip or two on the ball, it's going to be caught.
Yeah, it is. His catch radius is very wide, but you're right.
Yeah, he runs the ball really, really well. For Coach Morrow's black shirt defense, it's just going to be get your hand in the dirt, get your feet settled on the artificial turf, and let's play ball.
Yeah, lining up is the key, especially early in the year when you're still, learning all the checks and all the calls. But being able to line up to what Creekview did a couple weeks ago, and then what Westminster gave us, just kind of gave us a good start. Cartersville gives a few formations that are some issues as well, but overall it's about getting lined up and playing fast and physical. And again, sometimes it doesn't have to be the perfect call that they make, but as long as they make a call and play it, we'll have a chance, and they've done that so far.
This is the third week in a row we have faced a veteran quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about each team that we've played so far, and Cartersville coming up, they've got quarterbacks that have been around 2 and 3 years.
Yeah, it is, and that's you can play a lot of football, or when you get to play a lot of football as a quarterback, you're getting better and better each week and each year. So know that going in, so it'll be a very, very tough test for our defense to stop Cartersville offense for sure.
Going back to the black shirt defense, Alec Upshaw leads with 15 total tackles. McCaden Griffin has 2 tackles for a loss. Blake Hammett leads with assist with 8 tackles. Aiden Adcock has 2 tackles for a loss and a sack. Clayton Goad has a recovered fumble. Sager Quinn has a sack and a tackle for a loss. Trey Perkins has a tackle for a loss. So the defense is swarming to the ball, and I think they're getting acclimated and used to each other. They have each other's back.
Yeah, that's what it takes. It takes 11 people getting to the ball, and because when you play good teams, they're going to have good plays. It's just a matter of limiting those big plays, and you do that from, like you said, pursuing the football and getting to your angles and flying around. And that's what they've done. They did it against Westminster, and hopefully they'll do it again Friday.
Yeah, and don't forget, folks, the kickoff will be at 8:07. You can listen to us on the Fox 103.5 FM, 10:30 a.m., and streaming on the Fox. That's the Fox1035.com, as well as at Calhoun Touchdown Club. So no matter where you are, you're going to be able to pick us up, whether you're sitting at home enjoying a cold beverage or out traveling around. You can pick up the ball game. And of course, if you are at home, we're also going to have Peachtree TV here televising that. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it is, and with on top of everything going on, it's military and first responders appreciation night. So, and we talked about that this morning with the team. We just kind of made sure we understood that those first responders and those military, when we're running away from danger, those guys are figuring out a way to get in and help. Prayers go out to the Appalachia school, team, community, family members. Unfortunately, it hit a little bit close to home. That's a school that been in several times, and one of the coaches that unfortunately passed away was a football coach and had ties to some of our coaches. So it's a tough day for obviously for those families in that community, but for just educators in general. It's something that you never want to see, and hearts and prayers definitely go out to those guys.
Yes, for everybody involved in it, our prayers do go out to them. It just a terrible, tragic situation. Uh, it's amazing what you educators face every day, and I don't think sometimes people realize, uh, not that it is stressful, but that's not the predominant thought. 98% of the educators involved in the education field across America are there to help. And I say children, but the young people. They're not, I'm not thinking of first graders and second graders. They're there to help everybody.
Yeah, it is. Education is a great field, and we've got a lot of great teachers, administrators here in Calhoun City Schools. So very thankful to be where we are, and like you said, it's a tough job already. And then when things like this happen, it makes you just stop and think and appreciate what you've got. And that was our message to the kids today. That even though this is a huge game and football is very important, it pales in comparison to real life situations that are going on. And so hopefully the kids understand that and don't take anything for granted, and learn a little lesson from that.
I second your sending out prayers and best wishes to everybody over there, and so hopefully people can get through this with best intentions in everybody's mind. Like I said, big game, 8:07 kickoff. This is our third non-region game. We've got another non-region game coming up next week. Then we'll have a bye week, and then we'll get into region play. And our region is performing fairly well in their non-region game, so it's going to be an interesting season. And it starts and it continues tonight as we take on the Cartersville Hurricanes.
That's right. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate it.
Exactly. I appreciate you and your time. This podcast has been brought to you by the Calhoun Touchdown Club, and thank you for listening. We'll see you at the ball game, whether we see you or you're listening to us. This has been Locker Room. This has been In the Press Box with Coach Clay Stevenson.